What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Colon from House of Rasslin, and this is my review for the June 5th Premium Live event, WWE Hell in a Cell from Chicago, Allstate Arena. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Whoa, boy. This pay-per-view, I will say it over-delivered. Going into it, it was just like, this is one of those pay-per-views that all right, it is what it is. But no, this pay-per-view really over-delivered. The first match was awesome. The main event, um, Cody Rhodes is wild, man. He is a wild man. For those of you that don't know, and I'll jump right into that and then go back on the other matches and everything. But it was reported that Cody Rhodes tore his pec muscle, had I believe it was a slight tear on his match Monday, and then he was working out and he did more damage. So when he came out, he had a huge. Okay, this is my left. That's your right. So right here, he had a huge dark bruise from like here all the way. Like it was dark bruise. Like you couldn't take your eyes off of it. Like, you try to get into, like for me, I tried to get into match. You just look at the tear and it's like, oh crap, I hope he doesn't do more damage. And I know many people were saying that, like, man, I hope he doesn't do any more damage. And of course, online, it's like 50-50. Many people are saying, wow, it's courageous. Other people are like, man, how could they let him go out there like that, knowing that he might do more damage. For me, it's hard to say, because after the match, the video was leaked that he's like, nobody pressured me. I came out here doing it. So look, if he wants to do it, that's his body. That's all I gotta say. If he wants to do it and he feels comfortable doing that, knowing he's got a pectoral torn pec, that's him. That's his choice. That's his prerogative. I just hope that there isn't any more significant damage done to it after this match, which more than likely there won't be, because he did, like, a lot of the stuff was more on his left side. So for those of you that don't know, when you see the picture, it was on his right side. So thankfully he was using more of his left side, but still, just injuries like that, nowadays you just don't want to just take a chance or anything. But he took the chance. And thankfully we got modern medicine that can do that and everything. But that was a sight to see. That was a sight to see. Like me watching it, it reminded me of the Austin Powers movie where everyone's looking at the guy with the mold and they're just looking, and like you try not to look at it, but you keep looking at it. It's like, okay, you try not to look at it and you keep looking at it. But hey, man, that was his call. He did it. People have him as a they're like, man, he's the top babyface, which I will not deny that he is the top babyface in WWE. But again, he did address that after the match, that he will talk about the injury and stuff like that, and possibly how long he's going to be out tomorrow night on Raw, which I hope it's not that long, because we're already in June, so 6 months is December. If it's 7 months, that's January, which more than likely he's possibly going to be out. Hopefully, the maximum time he's out is maybe 5 months. If it's 6 months, then it's just like, oh man. But I did have this crazy scenario that I do think that he will come back and win the Royal Rumble if it's that long that he's out. And I do believe that Drew McIntyre is going to defeat Roman Reigns for the title at Clash at the Castle. We'll see what plays out with that and Roman Reigns and stuff like that. But I do think we could possibly get at WrestleMania next year in Los Angeles. We could get Rock and Roman, and we could get Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, where you have quite possibly, the two biggest WWE homegrown talents in the last, was it 12 years or so, 10, 15 years, that left, made a bigger name of themselves, and came back bigger than what they were in WWF. So that whole thing could possibly happen at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. And if that's the case, that's a good foundation for next year's WrestleMania. And then you build on whatever women's matches you want to go with. So that could happen. That's what I think could happen, depending on the severity of Cody Rhodes' pectoral tear, his injury and everything. But hopefully it's not severe, because, man, that bruise, that did not look good. But this night started off with the triple threat match between Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. These women, this match was fantastic. What was cool about this match, and if you didn't see it and you're like, WWE, it's like, no, this match, I recommend you guys see it, because it showcased Bianca Belair's strength and athleticism and speed. It showcased Becky Lynch's very sneaky, conniving, just very strategic movement as a heel. And it showcased Asuka's submission skills, and just how she was mad. Like, it was basically, she was fighting off the former champ and the current champ, and just trying to get her place, find a way to win and everything. But, man, that was a really good match. It did raise the bar for the rest of the night till the Hell in a Cell match, which it's hard to say which one would be the match of the night. The triple threat match for the WWE Women's, actually, is the Raw Champion. Yeah, the Raw Championship, Women's Championship, or the Hell in a Cell match. Just toss up. I know more people are going to go with the Hell in a Cell just because of what Cody did wrestling with that freaking huge bruise. But this women's match was a great. Whoever thought of putting this match on first, kudos to you, because that was a smart idea. Probably Vince McMahon or something like that. Kudos to Vince for that. That was a smart idea, because it really, the crowd was already electric. Any Chicago crowd for any wrestling event is already going to be electric. And when you put on a solid wrestling match to start off the show, that really gets the crowd set for the rest of the night. And this was a really good match. The reversals, the fast attacks by Becky, the forearm kicks, and the hip attack that Asuka was doing throughout the match, which was great. The Asuka doing the double knees on both Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair, which was crazy. You had Bianca Belair doing, she did a armbar lift and tried to do the KOD, which was crazy. There was a bunch of near pinfalls. And like I said, the crowd was into this. The crowd was hot for this match. This was a match, and I will say this was a women's match that, I don't care what promotion you work for or in or you like or what have you, this was a match that really showed, like, okay, this is why WWE has the women's vision that they do. When they turn it on, like, it's the best. And this match showed it. And there's a reason why Bianca Belair is the world champion. There's a reason why Becky Lynch was in this match, and there's a reason why Asuka was in this match, because they did a tremendous job. Then there was the manhandle slam, which Bianca broke up, that Becky Lynch performed on Asuka. Bianca Belair shoved her out the ring, pinned Asuka 1, 2, 3. Bianca Belair wins the match. She's still the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Like I said, man, this was a great match. If you got the Peacock Network, go back and watch this match. You will be entertained. You will be, you're gonna be captivated by it, because the work that these women did. Like I said, Bianca Belair, this match showcased her power, her speed, athleticism. She did a phenomenal job. Asuka did a wonderful job coming back. Just her attacks, her forearm strikes, everything was just so crisp, and it was just like, ooh, man, like, is she gonna win? And that was the beauty of this match, that you kind of knew, okay, Becky Lynch is probably, or Bianca Belair is probably gonna win, or Becky Lynch is probably gonna win. But the way this match went throughout the whole, from the beginning till Bianca Belair won by pinfall, you didn't know who was gonna win. You didn't like, ooh, maybe Becky's gonna win, maybe Asuka's gonna win, maybe Bianca's gonna win. And when you have matches like that, that's when you know this is gonna be solid. Then we get a video package of the Bloodline, the Usos, and Roman and their championships. And then we get a backstage video of, or backstage segment with MVP and Omos with Cedric Entertainer. God, Cedric Alexander. Man, that goes Alexander and Entertainer. You can get tongue twisted like that. Basically, MVP is like, it's time to go. Stop trying to get on my good graces. Nah, man, this ain't it. Get out. And of course, Omos was like, look, if you don't get out, then we're going to do something. Then we get a video package of the MVP rap on Bobby Lashley, which sounded pretty good. I didn't pay too much attention to the lyrics. Just the flow, the tone, and everything really sounded very good. And it was like, man, MVP can go. Not bad. Then we get the Omos MVP versus Lashley handicap match. This wasn't a bad match. I know some people, this was boring. This is like, from the freaking barn burner that Becky Lynch, Bianca, and Asuka had. Like, you had to have something that, where people were able to relax, but also get invested. We're like, okay, we're going to turn it down a notch, relax. We got some in store later on. But man, this was a pretty cool match. Lashley, of course, he chopped down Omos. There was a point where, he teased the body slam, and that, like, Omos and MVP, and I would say more so MVP, really, how do I put it? Some people say he protected. I wouldn't say he protected. It really, they didn't have Omos do too much. Where just when it got to where Omos was going to do too much, that's when MVP came in. And it was just like, and then it switched and everything. Like, Omos did enough in this match where you're just like, this dude's a beast. And MVP did enough in this match where you're just like, man, the day that Bobby Lashley has MVP in a one-on-one match, you're going to get it. There was a nasty running boot by MVP in this match. Omos, there was a spot where Bobby Lashley was outside, and Omos literally ran and, like, I guess because he's big, it looked like he just kind of like gently tapped him. But of course, freaking Omos is like almost 7 feet, 300 pounds, and he bum rushed Bobby Lashley through the barricade. Then there was a point in the match where Lashley speared MVP. That looked freaking cool. Then you had Cedric Alexander interfere, and Lashley wound up spearing Omos. MVP missed a big boot. That allowed Lashley to put the Hurt Lock on. He had it on for maybe a minute or two. MVP tapped out. Bobby Lashley wins the match. Again, this was a cool match, man. I had no issue with this match. They didn't have Omos doing too much. And whatever he didn't do, MVP filled in, and it just told a pretty decent story, man. It wasn't anything bad or anything. It was just dope, and you could tell that Bobby Lashley's like he's feeling it as a face. Like, okay, I'm in a groove and everything. And what was cool was that Lashley's high fiving everybody, and he takes this replica belt of the WWE Championship, holds it on, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming for this." So I don't know, man. It's interesting what's gonna happen with this world title picture. I kind of wish they didn't unify the titles because it would have made sense to have a WWE Championship match on this card, and of course, if Roman's not going to be at every show, like you have the Smackdown, like kind of wish they didn't unify it for that reason. But no, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Bobby Lashley next. A lot of these feuds on this show, it's like, where's this going to go? Like, I know maybe some of them will continue, but for the most part, a lot of it's like, hopefully this like the end, like we're going into a different direction with a lot of these storylines and moving on from them. But we'll see. It's WWE. WWE is going to do what WWE does. Then we had the KO versus Ezekiel match. This match, I like Kevin Owens' matches. Ezekiel, still getting used to it because, let's face it, he is Elias. And it's just the way it's like a combination of like Damian Sandow, Alex Riley, and the Ultimate Warrior is like just the whole getup's really interesting. There was a point where as soon as the match started, like freaking Ezekiel did a knee to the face, and then that knocked down Kevin Owens. Ezekiel got on the top turnbuckle, did an elbow drop 1-2, kicked out. That was pretty cool because it was like, oh crap, like is Kevin Owens gonna lose in like a couple of seconds? Like it gave off like, holy shit, is he going to, like, what? Is this gonna happen? Like, holy crap. But no, that did not happen. Then you had, there was a bunch of Ezekiel chants going on, which is really cool. You could tell he's kind of getting over. Maybe it's just the Chicago crowd. The Chicago crowd will have fun, depending on who it is. Like, they will have fun. There was a nice powerbomb by Kevin Owens. Ezekiel tried. He was running towards him, and Kevin Owens got him. Pop-up powerbomb. Bam! Got him. That was really dope. Kevin Owens super kicked Ezekiel on the top rope. That allowed Ezekiel to fall down and allowed Kevin Owens to do the cannonball, then hit a stunner. Somehow, Ezekiel kicked out. Actually, no, he did not kick out. That's how the match ended. But no, that match, Kevin Owens Ezekiel match, it was okay. Actually, should have put this match on after the women's match and switched the Lashley match with this one. Now thinking about like that, they could have done it that way. Then we had the next match was Judgment Day versus Balor, Styles, Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley came out with a different attire. She came out with actual shorts on. Like, it's the first time she's worn shorts since, was it the Mae Young Classic that she was in? That was a while ago. That Mae Young Classic was a while ago. This match was pretty cool. I really like the chemistry and the fluidity of Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. Like, I like it. Beyond them having matching attire and everything, like, they really work well together as a trio. Of course, AEW's going more to a trios title and everything. I would like WWE to lean into the mixed trios titles because they've done that quite a bit in the last year or two. They've had quite a few mixed tag trio matches, and even before the pandemic, they've had quite a few of them. I wouldn't mind them having it because Rhea Ripley, Edge, Damian Priest, they did some stuff in this match. They're just like, ooh, that's good for effect. Like, that's pretty cool. There was a point in the match where Liv Morgan did a Hurricane Rana on Rhea Ripley. That looked pretty dope. Then at another point in the match, Rhea Ripley did her typical, man, that woman is strong. She did a standing suplex with Liv Morgan, and I'm sorry, you could say, oh, well, Liv Morgan's is, this size or that size. I don't care what size a person is. When you have a person, another human being like this, doing a suplex, you need some strength. Like, you need some lower back strength, your shoulder, your trap strength. Like, you need a lot of strength to hold that person up and then execute that move. Then another point in the match, AJ Styles did the phenomenal forearm on Edge, went for the pin, was broken up by Damian Priest. Then you had, by that time, you had all 6 participants in this match just duking it out, and they just went outside and everything. Then you had Balor on the top rope attempting to perform his move when it was broken up by Rhea Ripley. She's like, no, you're not going to do your finishing move on Edge. And by that time, Liv Morgan, she jumped on her, which ironically allowed Finn Balor to be distracted. Edge came running, he flipped. Balor does his typical jump off the rope, rolling flip, turn around, Edge speared him. 1, 2, 3, Judgment Day wins. Like this match. I tweeted this. I'm really interested to see where Judgment Day goes after this feud because it's an interesting faction. Some people may not like it. Some people, like, I like Rhea Ripley. I don't like it. That whole thing. But I'm really interested to see where this goes because they are an intriguing trio. And the way they've been presented, you're just like, okay, this is interesting. Let's see how this plays out. Like, this is pretty interesting. And I enjoy it. I like it. I like Edge. I like Damian Priest. I love Rhea Ripley and her work. So I'm really interested to see where that goes. Then we get a backstage segment of Cedric Alexander and Bobby Lashley. He's basically, Bobby Lashley's telling Cedric, like, look, man, stand on your own. It's cool for you, that I see you stand up and everything. And he tells him, like, man, don't ever interrupt one of my matches again. And just laughs and walks off and everything. That was a pretty cool moment. Then we get a video package of the Madcap Moss, Baron Corbin feud. I hope this is the end of this feud because, granted, the last couple of weeks have been kind of intense with, you could say, both sending each other to the hospital the week before. And, well, this match, Madcap Moss sent Baron Corbin to the hospital on a stretcher. I hope this is the end because the way Madcap Moss looks now in new attire, like, it's just like, okay, you kind of got to put him somewhere else. And Baron Corbin, like the Happy Corbin, man, how many months has that character been? Like, I can't remember how long it's been, but of course, like to see him go into a different direction and, feud with someone else. I do miss the old Baron Corbin where, his old theme and everything, where he just was dominating when he first appeared from NXT. Like, man, I miss that Baron Corbin. But man, this was a really crazy match. Baron Corbin used a steel chair on Moss. Moss used a steel chair on Baron Corbin. You had Baron Corbin perform the Deep Six on Moss. Then you had Baron Corbin do a chop block on Madcap Moss on the outside of the ring. Then this is where things got pretty interesting. You had Baron Corbin put a chair around Madcap Moss's neck and like throw him into the announce table. So he's grabbing his throat, which I wish they would have sold it more because like you had like you had a chair on your neck, and you like, how did they? I don't know. It is what it is. WWE is gonna do WWE. Then you had Madcap Moss. By this time, they had the stairs in the ring, and he had it standing upright against the turnbuckle. And by this time, Madcap Moss, he did a fall-away slam with Baron Corbin onto the stairs, which was crazy. This allowed Madcap Moss to put a chair around Baron Corbin's neck. And then Madcap Moss used the steel chairs to slam it on the chair that was around Baron Corbin's neck. Madcap Moss gets the pin. 1, 2, 3. He wins. And then they stretcher out Baron Corbin to the back with a neck brace on. And WWE social media reported that Baron Corbin has a neck contusion after being evaluated. But yeah, I hope this feud is over with and Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin go on to different things. Really interested to see where Madcap Moss goes on after this. Probably Theory. That'll be interesting. Then we get the United States title match. And I am not surprised by this outcome because WWE has a little bit of a reputation, and I don't know what else to say. It's just they do this a lot where a wrestler can be wrestling in their hometown and they lose. I don't know. It's happened more frequently in the last 5 years or so. More frequently in the last 2 years, but more so in like 5, 6 years or so. This was a really cool match, but there was a certain thing. It's just like it would have been cool to see Ali win the title. You know, it would have been cool because it's like you brought him back, and all he's been doing is losing. Like, come on. But there is definitely a lot of Ali chants. Of course, Ali is from Chicago, and it was so cool to see the hometown crowd, Chicago, give him the love and everything. Oh, I loved it. I was like, man, would have been fun if I was there, but I did not want to go there. I had other reasons why I didn't want to go there. Not because it was a bad show, but I'm already going Forbidden Doors. It's like, it is what it is. But no, this was a really cool match early on. Ali, I mean, his speed, Theory's power, that was really it was just a back and forth battle between that. Then there was a point where Ali tweaked his left knee. There was another point in this match where Austin Theory performed probably one of the most slickest and most unique Spanish flies I've seen in probably the last 3 years. And I've seen a lot of Spanish flies, especially in AEW. Like, they love that fucking move. And I know WWE, the 205 Live guys, or what used to be 205 Live, used to do that a lot. But this was a unique Spanish fly, especially for a guy Theory size. So Ali's on the top turnbuckle, and Theory jumps up top. He bounces off the top turnbuckle, and then does a Spanish fly. That was a slick move. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I believe WWE did post it on their social media, so you might find it on their social media. Then there was another spot where Mustafa Ali did a crazy tornado DDT from the top rope, jumping onto Theory. Then Mustafa Ali wound up having the STF on Theory, and we're just like, oh man, is he going to win? Is he going to win? Is he going to win? And Theory wound up touching the rope and getting out. Then there was another awesome move, a tilt-a-whirl DDT through the ropes by Mustafa Ali. Then after that, he attempted to do a 450, missed. That allowed Theory to do a chop block. Then he wound up doing the A-Town down. 1, 2, 3. Theory wins. That was a solid match. I would have just wished, like me personally as a fan and being from Chicago, it would have been cool to see Ali win a title. But we'll just see where WWE goes with this, because anything can happen in the WWE. Hey, it's WWE. Anything does happen. Then, of course, like I mentioned early on in this video, the Hell in a Cell match. What was funny about this match was Seth Rollins coming out to polka dots. That was funny. Seth and his digs at Cody have been pretty on point. Like, very creative. I like that. Very creative. Then there was a bunch of Cody chats. Cody comes out, like I said. He had the jacket on. There was the freaking huge, bright purple or dark purple bruise from where he tore his pec muscle. There was a bunch of kendo sticks. There was the Seth Rollins missing a frog splash through the table. Then Cody wound up bringing out a cowbell, which it's crazy. A Hell in a Cell match turned into a Hell in a Cell bull rope match for a brief period. Then there was another point in the match where Cody Rhodes did two crossroads, stopped, picked up the sledgehammer, hit Seth Rollins 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes wins. Now, I know many of you are like, well, you're missing a lot there. Look, the reason why I missed a lot was because I was looking at Cody Rhodes' bruise. Like, you couldn't, like, that whole match, you couldn't stop looking at his bruise. Like, damn, that's nasty. And of course, some people are like, oh, that's fake. That's it. Like, anybody who's had any pull muscle, whether it's your traps, your biceps, tricep, you can see this, like, there was like some form of swelling because it was like really like out there, and compared to his left pec, it was crazy, man. This was a crazy match. He's got people talking about him. Cody Rhodes has people talking about him. Like I said, he shared with the live crowd after the match that nobody forced him to go out there. I did this on my own. He got people talking about him, good or bad. I know some people, are like, man, this is crazy. Why did they let him go out there like that? Like, hopefully he didn't have any major damage. Other people are like, man, this is crazy. Like, this dude is a badass. Like, man, it's gutsy as this, as that. For me, it's, like I said, man, it's his body. He's going to choose to do what he feels comfortable with, and he's going to take certain risks with his body. Again, this is the same dude that did a moonsault off on top of a steel cage and broke his toe when he faced Wardlow. Was it right before the shutdown and everything? So nothing surprising. Like, the guy went through a flaming table with Andrade. So come on, he bled with Dustin Rhodes at All Out or Double or Nothing in 2019. So Cody's Cody. But yeah, I do hope there's no significant damage to the torn pec, and hopefully nothing else is off and everything, because it would suck if he's out for more than 5-6 months, because, man, that's crazy. I know some people are like, no, it's not going to be that serious. Look, people have different health. Like, what may not be more severe for one person could be very severe for another person. It's just, that's how the human body and health works. But I'm really interested to see what he's going to announce tomorrow night on Raw regarding his injury. Like I said, if it's 6 months, that's December. He could possibly come back January. If it's 5 months, that's November. He could come back December. January, Royal Rumble win. We'll see what happens at the Clash at the Castle with Drew McIntyre. Does he defeat Roman Reigns there? If he does, are they going to run with Drew McIntyre till WrestleMania? And are we going to have Drew and Cody? Two guys that made a name for themselves outside of WWE and came back bigger stars. That was going to happen? I don't know. We'll see. But overall, man, this pay-per-view, this was fun, especially for, Sunday, just chilling. It's like, all right, last week was Memorial Day, man. Let me just chill, relax. let me watch this. Let me watch this pay-per-view. This was one of those, like I said, it was one of those pay-per-views that over-delivered, but was like, if you like, it was a cool, chill pay-per-view where if you were chilling and it's like, all right, man, this is a pretty cool pay-per-view. So I like it. And I meant to tweet this and I didn't get a chance to. Seeing AEW have a full crowd, seeing WWE have a full crowd, seeing Impact Wrestling, GCW, whenever you see any professional wrestling company have a TV product and there is a packed house, that's awesome because that means everyone's enjoying what these guys are putting out there. So that is all. But yeah, this was a fun pay-per-view, man. I enjoyed it. Got scared with Cody. Like, I hope it ain't severe, but we'll see tomorrow. But this is my review for the June 5th Premium Live event. WWE Hell in a Cell. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And with that, like I always say, there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the world. Let's just enjoy this. I know this Cody thing has a lot of people going back and forth and just going at each other. Look, we don't need that because more people have been affected by some crazy stuff going on in the world just in 12 hours. And, this was a cool pay-per-view to just escape in and just, just take our mind off things for a couple hours and, things like that. So that's what entertainment is. All right. So with that,